You might be wondering why IAS, IPS, and IFS are called All India Services, even though they work in different states, and how they avoid arbitrary dismissal, especially in UPSC questions. By the end of this short lesson, you will be completely clear about the origin of these services, how they are recruited and posted, and the two important safeguards civil servants enjoy under Article 311. Let's begin simply. Think of All India Services as a national pool of trained officers that the centre prepares and then assigns like specialist doctors to different state hospitals as needed. Historically, in 1947, the Indian Civil Service, or ICS, transitioned to the Indian Administrative Service, and the Indian Police became the IPS, both recognized as All India Services under the new system. A little later, in 1966, the Indian Forest Service was added as the third All India Service to look after forest administration across states. The All India Services Act of 1951 is like the rule book. It authorizes the central government to make rules, but crucially, it does so in consultation with state governments for recruitment and service conditions. That means the centre recruits and trains these officers, but states get them to work on the ground. So authority and posting are shared in practice, which often becomes a tricky exam point. Imagine a national talent pool where the coach is the centre and the team captains are the states. The coach picks and trains players, but the captains decide who plays in which match. This shared arrangement explains many UPSC-style questions about federal balance. Who controls appointments, who frames service rules, and how the centre can deploy officers for national interest. Now let's turn to safeguards under Article 311, which protects civil servants from sudden or arbitrary dismissals, a concept linked to the old doctrine of pleasure, but given constitutional limits. The first safeguard is simple. A civil servant cannot be dismissed or removed by an authority that is subordinate to the authority which appointed them. So, a junior official cannot sack a senior officer. Think of it like a chain of command. Only someone higher up than the appointing authority can take away the post, which prevents misuse of power by lower-level officers. The second safeguard requires that no civil servant can be dismissed, removed, or reduced in rank except after an inquiry where they are informed of the charges and given a reasonable chance to defend themselves. In everyday language, this is the right to a fair hearing, an idea you can connect to basic procedural fairness in law, and it's critical for questions on administrative justice in the UPSC syllabus. Many aspirants get confused on a few points: who conducts the inquiry, whether exceptions exist, and how these safeguards differ from discipline under service rules. So let's clear those up briefly. The essential point is that the safeguards apply broadly to protect independence and fairness, but the centre and states can still frame disciplinary rules in consultation under the All India Services Act. For exam answers, remember to link the constitutional provision, Article 311, with the statutory framework, the All India Services Act, and explain how both shape the security of tenure and accountability of officers. A common trap is to treat appointment and removal as identical powers. Instead, show the examiner you understand that recruitment and training are centralized, while actual posting and day-to-day control involve states. Another useful analogy: recruitment and training are like making and sharpening tools at a central workshop, while states are the craftsmen who use the tools in their local projects. Towards the end, we will understand a key idea that most UPSC aspirants miss. The balance is one of shared control, centralized standards with decentralized deployment. And this balance is often tested in federalism questions. This idea matters because questions often come asking whether the centre can unilaterally dictate service conditions or whether states have a real say. Your answer should emphasize consultation and constitutional safeguards. Quick recap. The IAS, IPS, and IFS evolved post-independence as All India Services. The All India Services Act lets the centre frame recruitment rules in consultation with states. Article 311 gives two key safeguards. If you remember the coach and captain analogy, the two safeguards, the rule about who can remove an officer and the right to an inquiry, will be easy to explain under time pressure in the exam. Keep practicing short, structured answers that connect the constitutional text, the Act of 1951, and practical implications for federal governance, and you'll score clarity and depth in the polity paper. Thanks for listening. If you want more focused videos and practice questions on All India Services, constitutional safeguards, and likely UPSC angles, continue learning with EduRev, where we build answers step by step.